We're just going to talk about water. I titled it Water Wellness, and I thought something cool about this too is that the verse of the day today mentioned water. So Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you go through deep waters, I'll be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you." I thought that was kind of cool. That it just happened to be today as well. So kind of cool. Anyway, guys, the ways of water. So basically, I wanted to just give you guys a couple ideas, ways to increase your water intake. There's a couple super simple ones. I'm gonna keep it easy today. Um, Number one is just to add a little bit of flavoring. I know a lot of times, for me at least, if I have a little flavoring in my water, like I have like a lemonade flavoring. Actually, what I got going on right now in my water bottle, I drink it so quickly. And it's calorie free. They're just a couple different, artificial flavorings in there, which, it's not gonna, for most people, it's totally good and healthy and fine. And you just end up drinking so much more water. So that's kind of a little tip for you guys. Another thing is just any calorie free flavoring. I just use the Mio, give myself a bunch of different flavorings. Another idea is to do tea, right? If you're a tea drinker, if especially for relaxing and just winding down, tea is phenomenal. It's also great. Just you could have some caffeine in your tea too, and that's phenomenal as well. And then sparkling water, right? That's another one. Really great as well. So awesome ways to just add in water. These are all ways that you can count towards your gallon per day, and or whatever goal you have right now. You count this toward that because it is all water, and none of this is going to dehydrate you. Okay, number two, we're just going to talk about the weight loss of water. So, one benefit of drinking water is more likely than not, you're gonna have less cravings and you're gonna have less snacking, and that's gonna lead to a calorie deficit. The reason is because when you do drink water, you tend to be more full and you have less cravings. So another thing you guys have probably heard is that when you're hungry, right, sometimes you're just actually dehydrated. So if you drink some water, you'll be able to gauge your appetite better. Another thing that water will do, the benefits is you're going to have more energy, and that means you're going to be more active, right? You're gonna also just have better overall health, right? Your blood vessels are going to be nice and opened up, and your blood's going to be pumping. You're going to have better overall health, meaning you're going to feel better. You probably want to get out more and be with people, be outside, be in those kind of conditions to promote calorie deficit as well. And then finally, guys, super simple day. My action step for you guys, if you don't have one yet, is to get yourself a water bottle. And I think that's so helpful, and it's such an easy thing to do. I shouldn't say easy; it's a really simple thing to do. Is you get a water bottle and you just start bringing it with you everywhere you go. Because you guys know we're privileged with the ability to get water for free, basically, in almost anywhere we go. There's drinking fountains, there's ways to fill up our water bottles. So um, it's great to have that. We have that access, and um, it's something that we can take advantage of. So that's my action step for you guys for this next week. But that's all I got for you guys for the presentation. I want to jump into some discussion, and I'd like to, if you guys are up for it, jump into a little bit of accountability as well, um, and just have a conversation about that. Can we go ahead and just, does anyone want to volunteer to kind of jump on and kind of let me know how you're doing with the program so far? Um, does anyone want to jump on?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay, awesome.
Um, so it was a busy week at work for me this week,
Yeah,
but I did get my step goal a
let's
couple
go.
times
Good
through
work,
the week.
Keisha. Nice.
Okay. And sorry, my dog's barking in the background. Just started. Um, and then Jackson, come here, baby. Sorry about that.
That's
And
okay.
then I am hitting my water goal.
Nice.
Um,
Really good job.
Sleep, not as good.
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I find that that's the hardest one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've increased my protein, but I am still nowhere near the
Mhm.
ideal goal.
No worries.
But
Yeah.
it's definitely increased. I've been a little more cognizant of it. Um,
Yep.
I do want to say that when I drink water
Mhm.
and I hit the goal earlier in the day,
Mhm.
I feel, I don't know, I don't feel as drained. I don't feel
Go.
as tired, as
Yeah.
exhausted. I had been walking around in a I'm exhausted phase
Mhm.
for years actually. And drinking more water, I'm like, I'm not as exhausted. That's good.
That's
So
amazing.
I
Yeah.
definitely see a change and I'm so happy about it. So thank you.
Amazing job, Keisha. Thank you so much for sharing. That's encouraging. And I think, yeah, it's just something that is so simple, but that if you actually implement it and start doing it, it's just so, so helpful. So thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely awesome, Keisha. You need any help with anything right now going forward, or are you feeling pretty good about kind of where you're moving right now?
No, I don't think I need any help.
Awesome.
My big thing now is that since I hit the half gallon
Yeah.
mark for
Yeah.
water, that I'm increasing it now. So I'm going for 3/4 of a
Nice.
gallon.
That's
So
perfect. That's
yeah,
perfect. Just those incremental changes will make the biggest difference. And you've already seen that
yeah.
with, just even being early on in the program, week 3, you're already improving on literally every one of the areas, right? And you give yourself 12 weeks where you really keep on doing that progressively, you're gonna be crushing it by the end. You're gonna be getting great results.
Okay. I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to it. I'm
Sweet.
already seeing some results, so I'm seeing it
Great.
now. So this is
Awesome,
good.
Keisha.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for sharing. Great encouragement there. Do you want to get could we get Kent, do you want to jump on here for a little bit?
Sure,
Awesome, man. How's
I'll jump on any time, but I don't want to dominate. So
how's everything going for you, man, with the habits and with everything?
going pretty good. I need to improve some more.
Yep.
For me, the sleep thing is not as hard as some of the other things.
Nice.
Partly because I adjusted that previous to this, but
Nice.
um, one question I did have,
Yeah.
and not to be, I don't want to be crude or anything, but
Yeah.
does a body adjust to drinking more water gradually? Because
You gotta go to the bathroom quite a bit more. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, and
Yeah.
that don't
Yeah.
always work depending on where I'm at. So
Yeah. You know what? Um, I think it does a little bit, but you definitely do. You definitely that's one of the consequences. That's probably the biggest negative consequence of drinking a lot of water is you just gotta go. You gotta pee more, you know.
yeah,
And it's just like it's kind of just part of the process, I guess. It's inconvenient sometimes. But ultimately it's so like it's worth it. The side effect of it is just that's probably more so of a side effect. I'm not sure the exact science. You could probably your body probably gets a little bit more used to it and can handle a little bit more. But I don't know honestly the exact answer on there.
because previously I did in my work when especially when I was younger, I would actually cut myself short
Yeah, on
so that,
water.
so that I didn't have to find a bathroom, and
Right.
I know that was bad for me, and I feel better up in the intake, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I know for a lot of people that's not an issue, but
Well,
as
I hear you.
as far as finding a place, but
Right.
uh,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind
but
of comes with it. But everything else is going pretty good, Kent. How's everything else going?
yeah, I'm struggling with the steps. I'm finding
Okay.
struggling with the time to get in more steps.
Mhm.
And I've always had some knee problems. Doctor told me it was tendonitis, and I don't know,
Yep.
does more steps, can I strengthen that, or is that another
You can
problem?
absolutely strengthen that. And what I'm gonna do, Ken, is I'm gonna actually shoot you over a video I've made on it's a certain little lower body mobility slash strengthening, especially for like the ankles and the knees. It'll take you 8 minutes, super, super quick. But if you can do that even once a day, one thing you'll find is that you're gonna have your body's gonna feel better. So you're gonna want to be more going out and doing more steps. And that's super helpful. And another thing that you'll find is when you do go out and do those walking, the steps, it's gonna feel way better. Like it's gonna feel like almost really good on the knees and ankles versus when it hurts. So I'm gonna send you that, and I would highly encourage that you watch that video. And I know you just said you're trying to save time, so it doesn't take a lot of time. Even if you could schedule 8 minutes a day to run through it, you'll find your whole body will feel really, really good. And then you can go out and do the steps from there. But walking overall, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't want to say it's going to cause it to be worse, because it's such a low impact exercise, just walking in general. Um, but I think you should try to do that mobility and then go for your walk, and you'll be feeling phenomenal. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is because I have, done some moderate working out in the past, and then my shoulder starts hurting, and then I have to back off, then you kind of lose your gain. So I didn't want to.
100%.
I'm getting 5,000 and 6,000 steps a day, and definitely
Yeah.
since I'm more conscious of it, I notice that some days I used to miss, and now I'm
Uh,
I'm going out for a walk after supper if the step count ain't at least 5 or 6,000. But
nice. Good.
I was doing 10 and 15,000 when we were on vacation, and now I've got a sore knee that's just not
Yeah.
not letting me get past 5 or 6,000 a day, and I'm pretty well
That,
my
yeah.
knee is done. So
So if that's holding you back too, if that's the thing that's holding you back is the knee, um, definitely do the video then. I mean, 100% start doing the video. Um, and I'll make sure to send that to you right after the call here. Uh, but that, yeah, try that out, and you can even obviously just message me privately too after, and just let me know if it's doing better. Because I would assume after literally doing that video one time, you'll start noticing that it's feeling a lot better when you go for walks, and that knee will not give out for a lot longer, and hopefully not at all. Because if that's holding you back, yeah, you need to do something.
it's it's not joint. At least I don't think it is, because I had an X-ray to verify that once, and the doctor isn't like, no, it's just tendons. So.
The tendons, yeah, yeah. And that video that I made is specifically for strengthening those tendons and those ligaments, so that'll be perfect. And it's just a follow along, quick follow along mobility. Uh, but I'll send you that, Kent, and then try to just. Did you get that 5,000 to 6,000 each day this last week, or is that kind of that's the goal overall right now?
I got that most days. I'd have to
Nice.
look back. I think
Okay,
there's
no
2
worries.
days that I
Yeah.
missed, but yeah.
Try. I would keep the goal the same. Start to implement that mobility, and watch how much more attainable that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like it might have been more an average of 45 to 5.
Okay.
There was one day of 7, so
Okay.
I sometimes forget to take my phone with me on my belt.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't, yeah, and then it doesn't track. But
Yeah.
overall, I'll send you that. I'm gonna send you that video. And yours is a rare circumstance where you get that holding you back. So I wouldn't even increase that step count this week. I would just actually make it part of your your goal to try to do that mobility day each day. It's only 8 minutes. You'll be able to get through it quickly. And I just think that's going to help you propel you forward with the steps, with the step count.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I can work that in. I'm sure I do probably a 10-minute just arm workout in the morning anyhow, so I can add a
Nice.
little bit more. So
Yeah, throw that in there and that'll be perfect. And protein's going good, Kent? Doing good on protein? Sound like you were last week. You're doing pretty good.
pretty good. Some days I struggle a little more with it,
Yep.
but it's definitely a challenge to get to. I've been going for about 150 grams, and that is a challenge. I think sometimes more like 120, but
That's so good.
I have a little trouble calculating because even with that app,
Mhm.
it doesn't quite have the foods in there like I eat, and I'm not
Tracking it.
knowledgeable enough to convert it always. But
Right. And that's okay. I mean, you sound like you're doing pretty good on the protein overall. Right now, the steps, we got to get the steps going up. And that'll help you feel better, more energy, stronger, everything like that.
yeah,
Yep. Awesome, Kent. Awesome, awesome.
but yeah, it is interesting. I'm starting to look for ways to walk to do what I do, and it's
Yeah.
when you change your thinking, it's interesting what it does. Because I'm like used to jumping on an ATV to run to the neighbors. I'm like, oh no, I could walk, get some
I can
steps.
walk. Yeah, yeah, it's good. And that'll make a big difference. Those little changes will make a big difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely will. Awesome. Thank you, Kent.
Yep. Thank you.
Could we get Lena or Sharon on there? Do you guys want to jump on? And when do you guys want to jump on here? Just want to see how you guys are doing, hold you guys accountable.
Sorry about that. I was trying to come off mute.
That's okay. How you doing?
Let's see. Well, I'm just hanging out in the background right now because this is the first time that I've been able to see a video, not a video, but learn about the program. I have not
Okay.
gone to watch the previous videos, and
Okay.
so I'm just being a wallflower, if you will,
Nice.
to gain information and whatnot.
Awesome, Lena. And do you kind of did you looked into the program at all, or is this literally your introduction right now?
This is my introduction, but I
Okay.
did look at the thread, and I noticed where it said start here and download an app for the habits or something. But I was looking for the first video and I didn't see it. I'm not
Okay.
saying it's not there, but I probably didn't go deep enough.
Sure.
And when I saw that you guys were live, I'm like, oh well, let me
Jump on.
see if
Yeah,
I can
yeah, yeah.
jump on.
For sure. Yeah. So the first video should be on here. It is it's way down at the bottom, but
Okay.
the biggest thing is watching that first video would be a good idea just to get you an idea of in depth kind of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So my takeaway for you here would be just to watch that first video and then you can go to the fitness habits section and just download that tracker sheet. Basically what we're doing is we're focused on building up daily habits into our life that are going to improve our health, and they're just all lifestyle habits that we're working on. Stuff that's pretty simple and that we're just trying to implement so that we can get our health better and also keep our health better long term by developing these habits. And the people in here all different fitness levels, different exercise experience in the past, people who are just starting for the first time ever. And this is stuff that through my years of personal training, I've found that these four things, if you can implement, that you're going to make the biggest, most impactful and long-term effect on your health. So it's really great to have you here, Lena. I hope to see you again next week. And I think ultimately, yeah, just download that sheet and watch that first video to really get in depth of what we're doing here.
All right. And you mentioned that there were 4 things
Yes,
that you guys are focusing on, and
yeah.
that's covered in that one video.
Yeah, it's all covered. And I can give you a quick
Okay.
rundown too. We're just focused on getting our water intake up. So our ultimate goal after 90 days is to get up to a gallon of water per day.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to work on building that up. Another goal that we have is we're focused on activity. So we're trying to get 10,000 steps per day. is our goal after 90 days. And you kind of hear some of the people talking about this. We're implementing and progressing every week. It's not perfect right away, and it's not
Mhm.
expected to be that way. Another thing we're working on is increasing the sleep. So we're trying to get up to about 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night. And then the fourth one is protein levels. So instead of doing a specific meal plan where I'm really just restricting you guys on exactly what to eat and everything like that, we're just focused on getting a high amount of protein in our diet, to keep our
Mhm.
metabolism high, to keep our fat loss going, and to keep us in a calorie deficit where we're losing fat, building muscle. So ultimately, that's the four. And that's what we're working on building up in these weekly calls. We're just having accountability. A lot of times we're posting tracker sheets and we're just seeing where we're at with the process. But you hear too that everyone's in a different spot. And with these weekly calls, I can give you specific advice and personalized advice for the stuff that you're going through right now, specifically. So that's the gist.
I appreciate you breaking those down. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Lena. Thank you for jumping on. We are super happy that you're here.
Thanks again.
Yeah. And can we get Sharon? Do you want to jump on? I know Sharon could not make last week, but I think she wanted to.
I'm cooking. I was cooking.
Good to
Yeah,
have
I just want to say thanks. The protein thing, I've been trying to find new ways. So the other day I was like, I literally made myself kind of like pizza on a hamburger bun I had, instead of just eating like this sausage I had, but I put mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, vegetables. I was just thinking of other things I could put on there with the protein. And I get steps probably 5 to 7,000 a day just in my feeding chores that I do.
Awesome.
But I've been trying to find like when I'm doing the dishes, I'll like march in place. I'll because I know in 2009 I literally lost 4 sizes just walking 40 minutes a day, not
Wow.
eating after 7, and increasing water.
Isn't that amazing?
And I was like, but I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, what? Obviously that worked. I was really actually amazed because I was going on a cruise with my Nana, and I had sort of like around the house clothes, businessy clothes, not really anything decent leg for a cruise. And I feel Kent's pain because I struggle with that too. I'm like, you're drinking more water, you're like, I don't want to leave what I'm doing, or I don't want to have to think about, do I find a bathroom? So if someone could make the water that doesn't make you go to the bathroom, we'd be
Hey,
all a little.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Awesome, Sharon.
So, and it's really, I really feel like, oh, it's kind of funny. I really feel like God has, right before Travis started this with you guys, um, I get tea from a lady that is with a company called Sipology, and they have a natural drink that it's just mango, but it's supposed to do something with like resetting your body's telling itself it's full kind of a thing.
Okay.
Anyways, probably not something I would have just bought on my own, but I won a 90-day supply.
Yep.
So I won a 90-day supply of that. And then Travis started this program. And then I even won something from them that's like a super greens boost drink. And I'm like, okay, God, it seems like
Seasonal
I
health.
really never asked for help in this from God before. And it seems like everything is coming to me to be more helpful in my health.
Good. Yeah, it's a season of health. And there's nothing better to do than to, like you said earlier, develop those habits. I mean, that's a huge testimony just for what walking can do. And it doesn't take um super high impact, doesn't take super intense exercise. It just takes being intentional about getting your steps in. And
Yeah, I've been making more plans, like, because it gets really hot here to be outside walking, but and it's always more fun, like, you know, if you meet up at the mall, walk with a friend, all of a sudden you walk an hour and you don't even know you were doing it, versus if you were like, I gotta go walk now, you know, it's
Right.
different. So yesterday I even told the donkey trainer who comes out and helps me, I go, she does donkey walks at her house and she's literally like 40 minutes away. I go, hey, if you ever have an empty spot, I mean, I got my own donkey, I don't need to come over there, but if
Yeah.
you have an empty spot on days, let me know and I'll come walk with you guys. And they
Right.
do. It's not real far, it's probably like half a mile, but
Mm.
it's still, it was movement where it was just joy. It was
Right.
just joy. So
That's amazing. And I was just going to add to that too. I mean, when you walk, it just feels so good, you know? And that's another benefit of it too. It's just, you guys are just awesome today. I mean, yeah, that's a great testimony, Sharon. And are you doing, have you been tracking a little bit lately in this program, or are you jumping into this program kind of
I
now?
haven't been tracking too much because I think I'm on a little bit of overwhelmed with tracking
Okay.
because I track so much for like my business and all that other stuff.
Yep.
But I'm definitely I think I got to watch the first one. I don't think I got to listen to last week's,
Mhm.
but I'm definitely soaking in the tidbits and the things to be more mindful of,
Yeah.
and kind of starting there as far as you know, doing things that are realistic. Because realistic, if someone made a healthy cookie, I could be a supermodel.
Right.
Like that's my thing. So you know, it's not realistic for me to go, we're not eating cookies no more ever. You know, that's just not a plan that's gonna work in my life or last.
Right. Right. 100%. 100%. And that's our goal too. And I think you understand that too, is we're trying to do what's realistic, and ultimately to the goal of being more healthy is to be able to be a better worker at your job, to be able to be a better business owner, to be able to, you know, have the energy to do what God has called you to do in the season, and to be able to show up as the best version of yourself for those different assignments. You know, so you can get to a point where you get over focused on those things, on how to get to that point, and then you can kind of forget the purpose of the whole thing. So you know, this program, we really built it so that you would be able to just develop these habits. And, you know, like you said, Sharon, you're tracking, you're focused on business. Ideally, we get to a point where this stuff is in the back of the mind. It's just automatic behavior that just keeps you guys healthy, you know, all year, and I mean your whole life, really. But developing the habits is the hard part, right? Once it's a habit, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like, I just do this every day. Um, so I think you're in the right place, Sharon. You got the right mindset. And all you guys on here just kind of understand that it does take a little bit of push initially. And I know you guys are going through that, especially when you see that you're falling a little bit short of where you want to be. And it's, you know, don't let it discourage you. Just, you know, understand that that's kind of the growth edge, that once you get past that and you do develop this as a habit, it's going to be super, super helpful for you guys for the rest of your lives, really. But yeah. Yeah, well, awesome, Sharon. I'm glad you could come on here and share with us. What are you working on this week? What's going to be your big kind of, you know, which of these habits for you is somewhere that you think you can focus on and really work toward right now?
I think this week I really need to focus on the water. And
Nice.
I had sort of I don't want to say an aha, but earlier this year in January, my mom was visiting, and on her last day, we were at Cheesecake Factory. So we were sitting across from each other, and she looked over and she said, and I am at my heaviest weight I've ever been.
Okay.
And I have been married 24 years. So I have a ring that I put on 24 years ago. I don't take it off. So this has never been a problem for me. However, sitting with mom, and mom goes, wow, wedding ring looks tight. And so I cannot get it over my knuckle, but there is space where it spins where it is, right?
Mhm.
So that had never been an issue for me.
Yeah.
But I think because, and I said, no, look, mom, it spins here. But there are days since she has said that where I'll go, oh my God, should I like have that cut off? Like, am I being unrealistic? Because I'm gonna have to lose over 20 pounds. Do it. You know, there's some days that it freaks me out, and there's some days I go, okay, God, help me with this, because this, I'm getting myself really riled up for goofiness. So I think it's just kind of a reminder to me
Yeah.
that I would like to be able to take it off if I choose to, even though I don't.
Right.
Even though I don't. And then, you know, it's going to be summer here, so it gets hotter and your fingers swell even more. And I go, so some days that's a little bit of extra pressure to me to
Yeah.
keep on the right track.
Right. Yeah. And remember, you know, you don't want to be worried or anxious, right? God says, do not be anxious about anything, you know, to cast all your worries onto him. And he really does care for you, you know, and he's given you all these tools, and he's equipped you, and, you know, even in the past with, you know, methods that do work, and he's given you the power and the spirit of self-control. Not that it's going to be easy, but you can absolutely do this thing. And yeah, I guess just want to encourage you that you have all the tools with you. You have the spirit within you. Just start exercising that, you know, authority over your flesh consistently, and the more you do it, the stronger you get at denying the flesh, especially, you know, when it comes to, um you know, this is about the flesh with, in terms of the eating and overindulging. It's a pretty, you know, the, I don't want to say, it was kind of like the gluttony is something that's very, very fleshly, and we can very easily relate the Bible and the spirit to overcoming that, right? And yeah, you can absolutely do it. You have the power within you to do it. We'll encourage you every week to continue to do it. And it's going to take time, and it's going to be hard, especially the beginning, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But you're going to get to a point where it starts feeling really good, and you go, wow, I am so glad that I did that. And I almost can't wait to get out and go and go do my walks. I can't wait to eat this healthy meal, you know, but it does take time.
Yeah, I noticed even with this, it's really funny how much of it is habit, because even
100%.
with this drink she gave me, so, you know, it does make you feel fuller, right?
Right.
But you get in a habit of, after dinner, I might have some of this or some of that, right? And I'm like, but I'm really not hungry. So, you
Right.
know, almost like a thing in your mind playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really
It's
have
all
had
habit.
to go to God about this, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah, to keep, and sometimes it's a matter of, this is gonna sound really silly, but it's true. Sometimes it's a matter of you're not eating enough.
Yep.
And which is really weird, because I remember one